Hey guys, welcome to the Black Man Spotlight. I'm so excited and nervous. I'm sitting here with Kevin Ross, who is an artist, an R&B musician, and has a world of experience in the entertainment and creative space, and has worked with such incredible people, but such incredible people have worked with Kevin as well. Like I've listened to your music, I've watched your interviews, and your spirit and the love that you pour into your work is definitely felt and seen.
Thank you.
So, congratulations on all your success. Congratulations on being able to manifest this version of yourself constantly. I know it's like a journey. And so I just wanted to sit down here with you and have that conversation and welcome you to the platform.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, of course, of course. And just a little bit before we get into the conversation, if you could introduce yourself to my audience, how would you do it? And what would you say?
My name is Kevin Ross, singer, songwriter, producer, labor owner of Our Society Music Group from Washington, D.C. Just a lover of love, a father, a son, a brother, and so many more things. Multi-hyphenate, for sure.
Yes, all the things. And you see, guys, you have to say affirmations to yourself to be able to hype yourself up like that. So what gives you the confidence to be here and do all that you've done?
Experience, and just knowing that, for all we know, this is the one life that we have. And God has blessed me so much as far as within my journey, certain experiences that have allowed for me to understand that life is precious. And so I have to live every day to the fullest. If I live to see it, I was made to do it.
I love it. I love it. For me, affirmations in the mirror have helped kind of boost up my self-esteem and confidence. Yeah. And I feel like what you do is so, it's almost like you're naked with your music, with your art and your music videos and everything that you do. So I just really wanted to know where you sourced it from and kind of ask you, how does it feel to be living in this dream of yours, in this manifestation?
It is humbling, for sure. To me, I feel like, God gave me a gift, and with this gift, I have to give it out, and I have to empty myself as much as possible. And so that's a part of my dream, was to say, okay, there's a seed that God handed me and said, okay, sow it into the ground, water it, take care of it. Do not, squander it. Do not give it to people that don't deserve it, or whatever the case may be. And so to watch, every step of the way, just like from, watching a little sprout come out the ground to gaining height, more leaves, depth. And so, that seed, was just this one flower, and now I have a whole territory that's, under my reins. And so I'm truly grateful as far as for everything.
So I love that we're so alike. I use plants and nature as the ultimate teacher. And lessons, for me to grow, and seasons, all these different things. So who taught you, this way of living and this way of life? Who was the biggest impact in your life?
I think my parents, for sure, my mom and my dad. As far as the analogy of, comparing life and gifts to, I guess, gardening or plants, I think that was just more so from experience, to be honest. It was kind of like a vision that I was given by God, at least 10 to 15 years ago. And I was like, wow, this is interesting, because I'm not into gardening. I've never necessarily it wasn't an interest of mine. But he created an illustration in order for me to understand that it's you're looking around at everything else that everybody has. And so now I'm going to create an illustration for you to say, okay, well, yes, this person has these plants over here, and this person has not only plants, they got houses and horses and all kind of stuff. And you're looking at it to see okay, well, how can I get it? It's all right, don't focus on how can you get it. Focus on these seeds that I've given you. You still have these seeds in your hand. I need for you to put them in the ground. And then I want you to keep sowing until I tell you to look up. And everything that I was sowing as far as within the ground, I didn't know that I owned that. And so that was a part of the vision too, to say, all right, when God said, look up, he's like, all right, everything that you see is your territory. What you do with it is what you do with it. But now you're held accountable for. So everything that you've seen on everybody else's property, you have the ability to do that now. But I needed for you to understand the process, that life, career is not going to be a rocket ride. you have to feel every single emotion, every single nuance in order to appreciate it, and also to have longevity. Some people may not be blessed to have longevity. Maybe sometimes, especially with the music business can be used as like a lottery in a sense. It's like somebody can get lucky and like record a piece of music inside of their bedroom or bathroom or, you know, some undisclosed place, and get lucky and have a hit on their hands, but they're not groomed or prepared for success or what comes along with it. And so they squander everything that they have eventually. And so for me, I've been blessed to not be in that situation, because if I would have been, I definitely would have squandered it too. But now for what I do have, I know how to take care of it. So yeah.
Okay, so the way that I consider gardening, or how that vision or manifestation came to me was via protection. Because I kind of felt that myself, my life is a garden, but I wasn't protecting my garden, and I felt like I was allowing certain people to come in and like kind of just like reap my harvest without any sort of boundaries or like gate or whatever. And so like that was kind of what was like placed onto me and how it was like, you know, and I was like, oh man, you know, and they're not even like pouring back. And it's okay to like take someone's harvest, but like pour back in or invest, you know? So my question is, how do you protect your garden? And has there ever been a situation where you've had to like insert your boundaries? Like, I feel like that's been like the most valuable thing that I've learned is like having boundaries for my life.
Boundaries is healthy. You know what I mean? Just for anybody that's coming into your space, or like we're saying, as far as our property, our garden for that matter, there's nothing wrong with it. Even parents, you know, siblings, loved ones, you know, even in business, you know what I mean? Like to create boundaries to say, this is what I'm willing to do or willing to accept. And this is where the cutoff is. And you have to respect that. And if you respect me in any way, then you will understand that it's like, this is as far as I'm willing to go. So in business, I have a rule where it's like, don't call me after 9. Don't call, like, I don't care what it is. Like, nothing is important or deep where I have to get myself out of my comfort to do something. No, like after 9 o'clock, like LA, everything is closed down. Everybody's going home, you know, from work. And at 9, as far as on East Coast, y'all should either be asleep or minding your business. And so for me, 9 o'clock is cutoff time. Don't call me, like, or if you text me or email, I'm not going to answer it until the next day, because I just have to create that boundary and space where it's like, I don't want to be glued to my phone day and night. You know, you're battling your emails, you're battling your text messages, you're battling social media, so it's so much time where that thing is in your hands that I'm like, I need a break. I don't want to look at anything. I need to cut off screen time. Like I do that with my son. Like, let's turn the TV off. Let's decompress. And let's create these boundaries early on. The earlier that you can create those boundaries, you know, the better it is as far as for a child's mind, and for them to kind of understand who they are, the world, and their perception of everything, even themselves. And so, boundaries are very important.
Was there a point in your life where you had loose boundaries?
Oh, yeah. I allow people to step on my harvest, to take it, to let it rot, all kinds of things. But, you know, that's just like, you know, those are seasons, and seasons come and go, and you learn as you move along in the process of saying, okay, you know what, this was a bad season for me as it pertains to the harvest was great, but the people that I let into my harvest wasn't necessarily good. But it's okay because it's still my territory. And so I learned my lessons to say, you know what? Next season, I'm going to build a gate. And then you build the gate, and then you be like, you know what? Some of these girls can hop over that gate. You know what? I'm going to build a higher gate. I'm going to build a parameter where, like, if you can't jump over this, then you don't belong in my territory. Now, if you do jump over it, now I'm impressed and I'm intrigued. Now we can talk. Let's figure out how you jumped over it. Why are you here, right? So that's the beauty of boundaries, is that every season you live and you learn and you correct, and so that just, it makes for a better and more sound environment for yourself.
You sound like someone who's been to therapy.
I have, for
You
sure.
know, like, that's what this feels like. Like, guys, he is glowing. Like, I really do feel like you're protective of yourself, of your energy, of your time, and that is how it is supposed to be. And people will get offended by that and think that, like, oh, you think you're too good, or like, oh, like, you're not how you used to be, da 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 da. But it's like, this is love, right? It's self-love, and then you get to show up for people in a way that best serves for you, so you can be your best. So what did it look like when, you went to therapy? Like, what practices are you doing? How do we help Black men get to the point where you are?
I think acknowledgement is first above all else. You have to acknowledge how you feel to yourself, not to anybody else, but to yourself. We've been trained as Black men to say, however you're feeling, doesn't matter right now, because the goal is to get through, right? So when the goal is to get through, being scared doesn't matter. The end goal matters. If I'm in the line of fire and I'm scared, that don't matter, because I got to get past the fire and over to the safe side, and which is great on the survival tip, but on an everyday, is very toxic and poisonous to us internally, right? So then we bring that over to love, and then we're dealing with our significant other. And in our mind, we're like, man, she is really getting on my nerves. She's irritating me. And a lot of us don't have the vocabulary. We don't have the emotional intellect in order to express, to say, hey, babe, I know you want to tell me about your day, and I love to hear it. Right now, I just need a little bit of time for me to just kind of decompress. But if you get back to me in about 15 minutes, then I would love to hear about it. If that's okay, is that all right? I'm gonna go upstairs, I'm gonna go down to the basement, and I'm gonna just decompress. I'm gonna have me a little beer or a little Hennessy, whatever your thing is, and I just need to breathe. I had a day. I don't really want to talk about it right now, but I would love to talk, circle back on that in 15 minutes or 30 minutes, however much time that you need. But you need to address to yourself in your mind to be like, yeah, I'm mad. Yeah, I'm irritated. Yeah, I'm sad. I'm depressed. Am I depressed? Dang, am I? How am I feeling? Because the truth is, in our minds, the older that you get as a Black man, you really start to feel like nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, you really be like, maybe my mama cares. Kinda. You know what I'm saying? Because at a certain point, she like, boy, you grown. You got to figure it out, right? But after a while, you start to truly believe. You like, damn, don't nobody care. And they care only with, there's contention there. They care as long as you provide, as long as you fulfill a certain amount of things for them. Then they care. Then you're go. But outside of that, Black men, I do suggest that you check in on yourself. And it's okay for you to feel emotions. And you have to agree with that emotion. You can't fight it, because then we end up in crazy situations. You have to say, okay, I'm mad. And have that in your mind, so that when somebody comes to you, and that rubs you the wrong way, you can say, hey, bruh, or hey, babe, whatever. Not right now. Not right now. I'm not in a place to really talk. I'm feeling a certain type of way. Even if you can't express that you're mad, or if you feel like you're too prideful in the moment, but just to at least be like, not right. I can't engage right now. I can't. And if somebody says, oh, well, you can't engage right now, well, what about me? It's not about you. It's about me. And what I'm telling you is, in order for me to talk to you or to deal with you, I need space. I need time. And that takes time for any man, let alone a Black man, to understand what he needs, what he wants emotionally, and how to navigate through the world and his emotions at the same time. Because there's a stigma that has been put on us to say we are strong, we are resilient, we're like a rock. And we're not. You know what I mean? We have characteristics of that, but we're human. You know what I mean? And we should give ourselves, at least ourselves, give ourselves permission to be human.
Mm. I was just about to go into its dehumanization.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like, I don't know what it's called, but there's this energy when people look at Black men, there's no empathy. And so a lot of Black men will experience, like you said, frustration, irritation, and also not even have the language sometimes to explain what's happening. But then, like, say, like, you're irritated, and you're just trying to shrug me off. But like sometimes like that, even that shrug of like that irritation, then I'm going to take it personally. Now I'm going to make it worse by yelling at you, by pointing my finger in your face, because now I'm triggered, because now I have my own set of issues and I'm insecure, and I can't just allow this man in my space to be irritated without it making me irritable. Like, just because he feels it doesn't mean I have to. You know, I could just allow him to experience his emotions without me making it about myself. And that is a really hard place to come to for a lot of people for some reason. But I want to kind of go into your music and how you express love through your music. Because a lot of you, mostly, if not all your music, is positive about love, and it's such a great energy, and you're putting people into a good mood. Where do you source that energy from?
From necessity. I think there's a void as far as within music where there's not a lot of high vibrational music that's happening, as far, especially within the Black community. And so for me, I'm just here to fill the void. No matter if some people may look at it as corny or they're not interested, I'm okay with that, because they may be vibrating at a lower frequency. And so when you vibrate at a lower frequency and you know better as a person that's delivering the content, you have to be okay with that, to say they'll come around. They'll vibrate higher eventually, and then they'll understand what I'm talking about. But until then, I'm going to keep serving the people that need it and that appreciate it, and that when they listen to it, they feel seen, they feel understood. And so that's what it's all about, like, more so than just like, yes, I'm an R&B singer. I do not consider myself lovey-dovey in that way, even though I quote unquote make that type of music. Like I said, it is a part of my service to express love at the highest form, the complexities of it, the depth of it. It's not just, girl, you look good, I'm gonna take you home. If the sex is good, I'm gonna marry you. Let's have some babies. The end. There's nuances in between. There's nuances in between that need to be discussed. Like, for example, I have a song called Same Team. And within that song, I'm talking about the difference between man and woman, or partner and partner, whatever floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? But it's really about two people that are butting heads. It's like they're speaking two different languages. You know, now they're keeping score, like what's mine's and what's yours. And I think that happens a lot in relationships, where it's like we forget that we're both on the same team. It's like, all right, well, yeah, what's mine's is yours. And so even those little small things get underserved as far as within music, because it's always like, especially now, I feel like it's more situationships. What are we doing? Are we here? Are we there? And after a while, it's like, okay, cool. What about the people that actually do want love, that are inspired to be in love, trying to stay in love, maintain the love that they have? Those people need to be served music too, and not just the cookie cutter form of it, but the more complex and in real talk of it.
Well, I love that you said same team because as Black women and Black men, we are on the same team, hopefully. But there is this discourse where it feels like a lot of Black men don't want to be married and don't want to settle down and, or have like some sort of mistrust or not excited about it. Right? They're not excited to bring that into their life. Like when I think of my particular close group, I feel like for them, whenever I talk about it, it just is like seems like they stress. It stresses them. And so, what is that about?
It could be expectation. It could be something in their minds. It could be based off of their experience. Everybody's experience is different, and this is just my perspective. So I'm not trying to be right or wrong in it. It's just my perspective. But yeah, I think it's just more so expectation. I think men are afraid that they won't live up to who they think they are or how people perceive them. And that becomes problematic. Some men may feel like they're not making enough money to provide for a potential family, let alone their significant other. So yeah, it's a lot that goes into that. It's not the fact that they're like, oh well, it ain't nothing out here. They may pretend and say that, but the truth is that most times, 9 times out of 10, it's something internally that's going on that they have to deal with first before they can actually truly embrace the potential of, being in a serious relationship or let alone being married.
Well, you said you speak about love often, particularly, but you don't always feel lovey-dovey yourself.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
I'm not a hopeless romantic. It doesn't mean I'm a pessimist as it pertains to love. It just means that I am realistic when it pertains to love for me. And yeah, that just, when I set boundaries and parameters, a lot of times that eliminates certain suitors or potential people that I may be interested in or that may be interested in me. And so, when you're lovey-dovey or hopeless romantic, sometimes you could just fall for anything because you want it so much. You'll take whatever's there. Whatever's on the table, I'll take it. She looks good, I'll take it. She got body, yeah, I'll take it. After you do that for so long and you keep getting the same results, you realize you be like, maybe I shouldn't take this all the time. Just because she wants me doesn't mean that she's good for me. Just because she says yes doesn't mean that I should lay with her. Just because it's there does not mean that I should entertain it. So that's my definition of being like, I'm not lovey-dovey or a hopeless romantic where I am so gullible to just accept anything.
But I feel like you would be considered one of the top, 1%, 5% of Black men who are able to have, their life the way they want it, and you sit in pretty. And it's like, aren't men supposed to be the drivers of or be the hunters of relationships and pick and choose, type of thing? So are you waiting for someone to kind of be in your orbit, or are you on the search for that someone?
Yeah, I'm not waiting for anyone to fall out the sky. So, you gotta be in pursuit, if that is what you desire. In pursuit. But like I said, I'm not gullible enough where I ain't going to no pop the balloon shows. You ain't doing no Netflix Find Love series, no Love is Blind, no The Bachelor, not nothing like that. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, yes, for a man that's in a successful position, and right with himself, yes, the pursuit is necessary. So there's nothing wrong with the pursuit.
I wanted to ask, because you lived in Atlanta too as well. Yeah. So the girls in Atlanta be thinking girl, it is a competition out here for these men. Like, they're competing against each other. And I feel like that's so inorganic to being a woman. You know, I mean, typically, like, I mean, my preference is, don't judge me, guys, like, but my preference is, like, you know, invest into my garden and sow into my garden. And then eventually, you know, people will see it that need to see it. But if it does, it's not even safe for me as a woman to, like, pursue men or, you know, or it just is not the dynamic that I want to personally be in. Not to say that there's not a man worthy of that pursuit. I just, like, was raised this particular way. So, but, like, how do women who aren't in that pursuit or aren't in that competition like these other women and aren't, you know, like, doing the most and trying to attract, like, these types of men, like, how do they meet a man like you?
We have to be like-minded, right? And so we're gonna be in the places that we can agree to be in. So if I like going to coffee shops, I'm gonna find you at a coffee shop because you like going to coffee shops. If I'm at church, you're gonna be at church Sunday morning. We don't know each other yet, but because of the fact that that's what you're tuned into and I'm tuned into, that's where those type of people meet. I'm not the club person. So even if I go to the club because my cousin want to go to the club and I meet a girl there, I'm pretty sure, 99.9% sure that I'm not going to find nobody because I don't want to be there. I wasn't supposed to be there. So to find somebody that wanted to be there, it's not going to work. It's not I was just there at the club, I didn't want to be there, and then I found this girl who was dressed like she wanted to go to the club, that was taking drinks from other guys that went to the club, and she said, hey, you look different. You look like you don't belong. You know what? Let me go into your garden and pick up your harvest. And most times guys will be like, okay, cool. But for me, the only way that we're going to find each other is if we're bumping into each other in the same places, in the same vicinity. And so that makes it a little bit more difficult, not impossible, but yeah.
Healed people find healed people.
Yeah.
Right? I love that. And I feel like it's the same thing with relationships and business and friendships and everything. Like, as soon as you start to sow into your garden and you know what fills you up, you know, and the people that fill you up, you start to surround yourself around those things. And so what would you say to the Black man who is kind of experiencing a little bit of chaos in his relationships and in his friendships and in his business life and his finances? Brother, I know. We've all been there. You know, and I feel like so many Black men are so beautifully creative and want to pursue this entrepreneurship life and all of these things. What would the first step be for him?
Detach. Remove himself from whatever is distorting him. That whatever is unclear, whatever is unclear, you have to remove it, or you have to remove yourself from out of that situation. For example, if the only place that you feel that's safe is like, oh man, when I'm with my family, that's the safest that I feel. When I'm with my mom or my dad or my aunt, whatever, then you know that that's your safe space. Anything else is be like, man, this girl is, I can't think about anything else but her and the issues that we got. Leave. Goodbye. Same thing as far as with friends. When you like, especially as you grow and you progress in life, and you're like, your desires change. The things that you once used to do may not be as fun as before. So when your friends is like, yo, man, we finna go out to the hookah bar. It's mad hoes at the hookah bar. And you're like, I don't want to go to the hookah bar. I actually just want to chill. But I know that y'all my friends, and so a lot of times we just kind of begrudgingly go because you want to keep your circle. You know what I mean? And plus for Black men, it's hard to find new friends. And we don't want to make new friends. So it's like we usually keep the circle of people that we had at a certain period in our lives, and we just kind of roll with it, for better or for worse, which is bad. Don't do that. But but we just kind of roll with it, right? If you've known your homie since y'all was 12 years old, and the only things y'all have in common is Marvel comics and bubble gum, and then y'all now 30, and we sitting in the hookah bar talking about, man, remember bubblicious bubble gum and this and that. Like, that's the whole conversation forever. But it makes y'all feel good to be around one another, right? But as you grow and as you learn more, sometimes you gotta be like, nah, I'm good, y'all. I don't want to go to the hookah bar. Nah, you don't go to the hookah bar, man. What's wrong? Ain't nothing wrong, bro. I don't want to do that. Just, nope, I ain't doing it. And just slowly start to remove yourself from certain situations, friends or family or significant others, so that, you can tap into you to say, okay, what's wrong or what's going right? How do I feel? What do I need right now? Why is this bothering me? But until you do that, like you said, it's going to be chaotic. But I think as men, specifically Black men, we're used to functioning in chaos or chaos being around. Chaos is normal for most of us. So we're like, okay, well, this is going on. This just exploded. Everything is going on in our minds. We're very internal in the sense of trying to process how to get it done. Like, okay, such and such is screaming right here. I got to pay these bills and chaos all the way around. But as long as we say, okay, I got to get here, I got to get to the end of this wall by the end of the day. If I could just get there, I'm going to get there. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there. And you get there, oh my gosh, I finally got there. Unfortunately, we don't tap in with ourselves because we did whatever it took in order to get to the goal. And we lose so much of ourselves in the process of it. We become numb, or we go to vices because we feel like that's what we deserve. If my vice is women and I got to the end of that line at the end of the day, I deserve to call, you know what I mean? Oh, Miss Thing. You know what I'm saying? I deserve it. I may not tell anybody, but I deserve it. So I'm a hitter because I worked hard today. You know how much shit I had to deal with today in order to get to the end of the line? I'm gonna hit her. And if she hit me back, I'm going over there. And we gonna have a time. Whether I'm married or in a relationship or not. Because a part of my significant other added to my chaos. She don't understand. Or drinking. Man, isolation. I'm gonna go and watch ESPN real quick. Give me a little Hennessy. Little drink, more Hennessy than Coke. Then another. Then another. Then another. Next thing you know, you sleep. Somebody tapping you, get up. Oh, man, go to bed. What time is it? It's 12. You've been out there for 4 or 5 hours. Because you just wanted a little bit of time. And so you just numb and you keep suppressing just to get through the days and the chaos of it. And that's not healthy. So the healthiest thing, long story short, is to...
Keep it coming. You don't understand. You just channeled so many of us and our experience right before you hit isolation.
Yeah.
If you can.
If you can, because some people feel like it's soft. Some people feel like, oh man, you changing, you switching up. You think you better. It's like, no, I just want to be better. I just want to feel better. Is that okay for me to try to feel better?
No, you're supposed to try to make me feel good. That's how people feel. Yeah. Oh man. And then it's like when you forget yourself for so long, it feels so foreign to remember yourself. And then I feel like it's like there's this aura of almost like resentment too. Once you realize how much you've forgotten about yourself and you get on that path and you're like, damn, they done took everything.
And then you got to deal with guilt. You got to deal with guilt because you're so used to being there for everybody else and you feel guilty for being there for yourself. Am I being too selfish? Am I giving enough am I still kind of there for them? If you have the luxury to detach. But, some Black men are so far into their shit that they feel like they just can't get out. And so they just gotta They just got to deal with it.
What affirmation would you give those men in that space?
One day at a time, and slowly but surely. You may not be able to drastically remove yourself in a way that a single Black man can, but for those who may feel like they're tied down, kids, marriage, whatever, financial responsibilities, slowly but surely, you have to write out a plan. It's not a plan of escape. It's just a plan of slowly removing yourself from the things that are bad for you. You start off with the easy things. Friends, I feel like, are easiest. All right, y'all, I'm not doing that today. And nah, I'm not drinking that. Yeah, I'm just kind of, you know what I mean? Even if it starts off as a lie, just be like, I'm not doing that. And then you could talk to your friends eventually, be like, you know what? Nah, I had to lay off alcohol. Or, you know, I had to lay off weed. Oh, I had to lay off hanging out with y'all, man. I ain't on that right now. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, but really write out to say, all right, how am I going, or, you know, on your phone, whatever, but just write it out to be like, I want to be better. You know, those are the affirmations that you may not even have to say to anybody, but just say to yourself in a mirror or on your phone that you could read every day to say, I want to be better. I deserve better. You know what I mean? And God will start to, you know, move things around. Like, God moves. Or if you don't believe in God, the universe, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Mm-hmm. But for me, God moves and God answers. It may not be a sonic thing of you hearing God's voice, but you can feel certain things. Like, I think we've all been in situations where you've gotten that nudge to be like, you shouldn't be here. You should probably leave. No, you shouldn't be with this person right now. You should probably don't do that. No. You know what I mean? Like, don't make this turn right now. You be like, damn, that was just an accident. I could have been in an accident. God is great. But in certain scenarios, we'll ignore it because we feel like we know what's best. Because I'm the driver of my life. I'm the main character. So I'm going to do this. And then if it don't work out, then I'll expect God to clean it up. And if he don't clean it up as fast as I want him to, then I'm going to feel a certain type of way.
And not only that, it's an escapism too, like the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, the hanging out with your old friends, talking about nothing. This is like a form of escapism, especially like relationships that a lot of Black men, they don't really have very many spaces where they can release. Yeah. So what's the positive on the other side of letting all this go?
It's freedom, and it's peace. It's peace that nobody can touch. That is like, you know, it feels like a unicorn type of thing. You know what I mean? But there is peace. Like, you can actually breathe and be like, oh man, like, this feels great. It feels great to be by myself. It feels great for me to just be in touch with how I feel. You know what I mean? And to move accordingly. You know what I mean? And to give love or that energy in a free way. You know what I mean? Without inhibition. And so that's the positive of it, is that life becomes the reward, not the vices. Life does.
Okay. This is my last question. Because I think I recognize a space where people don't feel like life is on their side. Life is against me. You know, you ever hear, you know,
yes.
Life is against me. Life is not working for me. Life has never worked for me. It's everything's always, everybody else is against me. Everything's always gone bad. What are you talking about, Kev? You know, that's how some people really feel. Yeah. So that optimism that you have is so beautiful, but I just know that you have to almost like be there to believe it. Because I hear you and I feel you, but I feel like some people think that we just bullshit.
Nah, no. Because, I mean, here's the thing. Life is what it is, right? It's an experience. And so it's all we know. It's all we know, right? But we have to appreciate it for what it is worth, right? So for better or for worse, it's still an experience that we're fortunate to have, right? The older you become, the more you start to understand your mortality, right? For me, my mortality was challenged a few times. First time being, I had like bacterial meningitis. So it was a whole thing of like potentially being deaf or, mentally being impaired. And I came out without a scratch. So from 10 years old, my appreciation of life and mortality was probably different from a lot of my peers. But then, as we get older, some people's lives were saved, in other ways. But I think as life goes on, we forget and we feel like life is unfair. And it's like, no, life is the experience of what it is, and we got to enjoy it. So for me, when I have a bad day, I'll always say, yeah, I'm having a bad day. But things could be worse. You know what I mean? And so, so let's just say if I'm like, dang, like a business deal fell through, and I'm like, dang, man, I really wanted for that to really go down. But I'm like, but I feel good though. I feel strong. I feel healthy. I feel like I can get up again tomorrow and go and get it. Okay, that's a plus. I could be sick and down, you know what I mean, or whatever. Or if I'm sick, I could be like, I still got my mental faculties. I got somebody that's there that could take care of me, or at least I got somebody I can call, my grandma, my whoever. I got somebody I can call to help me get through. Or, like, man, like I'm sick, but at least I got a roof over my head. There's always like your floor can be someone's ceiling. That is my perspective on life. So I have a huge appreciation in a sense of just this experience where it's like my lowest, people would kill to be at my lowest. You know what I mean? So when I look at it like that, I'm like, what am I complaining about for real? When I know that I'm going to get in my bed, and even though I had a tough day, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but I'm going to wake up with an opportunity to make it better. I think that is the key, is that everybody lives life like it's a continuation, and it's not. That's where we have life fooled. We think that because today is today, and you have created this concept and construct of yourself and life within itself, that you have to live tomorrow in the same way, because that's what we define consistency as. And that is not true. I can wake up tomorrow, I could be whoever I want to be. That doesn't mean I'm going to get to that by the end of the day, but I can change my mindset. If I wanted to wake up tomorrow to say, I don't want to be a singer no more, I want to be an astronaut, then I have to now change my trajectory to say, okay, Kevin, NASA.com, let's figure out how to be an astronaut. What are the terms of me being an astronaut? And even though everybody else in my life is like, yo, you were just making an album. I know, but today, this is what I want to do. Now, granted, people may look at you crazy, but that's their issue. You can change your circumstance by changing your mind and your perspective beyond anything. We just live life in this continuous flow where it's like, yeah, you wake up in the same place, you're like, damn, it's like, yeah, but you can change it slowly but surely, one step at a time. You know what I mean? And if you take life like that, then you will start to see different results. Like I said, it may not be tomorrow, but you will start to see results. And that brings peace and happiness for sure.
That's it. That's it. Oh, y'all are not hearing Kevin. He's saying gratitude. He is saying, like, manifest. You can manifest the life of your dreams. Believe in yourself step by step, day by day. You can change your minds. And wow, my floor is someone else's ceiling. That's it. And so I want to just end this with an affirmation to Kevin and to the listeners listening. Kevin, I'm so proud of who you are and who you're continuing to become through you. There's so many of us living out our dreams, and you are a manifestation that anything that we want to do is possible. So you continuing to walk in this walk, and you continuing to believe in yourself, and you continuing to exist the way that you do, so freely and so eloquently and so beautifully and so organically, and just like taking up space is like how is the blueprint. Like you don't even have to, you're teaching. You don't even have to teach, like, like your existence is a lesson. And every day that you wake up and you are yourself, it is further proof of how amazing and great and how incredible and how versatile and how different we can be. And so to the Black men listening, anything is possible for you. Kevin has let us know that if we can just shed and step back and step away and invest in ourselves and take inventory of our minds, you are worthy of the life of your dreams. And the life of your dreams is becoming the man of your dreams. Because once you invest into that version of yourself and become the man who you want to be, everything else will attract to you. So Black man, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Kevin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you.
All right, now y'all can cut this part out if you want.
Yeah.
But I just want to take this time to thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for going against the grain as far as of what the culture and society may want you to do. Thank you for speaking life into me and into Black men. I really do appreciate it. We appreciate you. I don't know if that is said to you every day, but I just want to take this time, this space, and this present moment to say that you are appreciated, you are seen, you are loved. You deserve every great thing that comes to you in your life, in your children's life, and so much more. So thank you.
Thank you. Received. It's like an energetic hug. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you. Bye. Oh, wait. Kevin has a show April 12th.
Yes, April 12th in Philly, City Winery, 2 shows because Philly shows love. And for the past 2 years, they've sold out the shows. And so, yeah, I wanted to do 2 this time. So make sure that you get your tickets at kevinrossmusic.com.
Hey, bye.
All right, so for you, I have a creative question.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Not me, right? You? Okay.
Oh, this is good. I like it.
from a musician standpoint, I
Yes.
produce music also.
Yes, sir.
How has it been to basically navigate the treacherous waters that is the music business as a Black man?
Oh, yeah, this is good. This is a great question. So how I navigate is through transparency and honesty with myself. I always encourage other creatives, especially Black creatives, you got to know who you are and know what you want from out of the music industry, right? So when I came into the music industry, I was doing it for the claps, right? For the applause of it. Oh, man, you're great. You made great beats. Oh, great job. And so that was your reward system, right? And then your reward system got a little bit more sophisticated because they start giving you money. Then you like, okay, the claps turn into dollars after a while. But a lot of times people lose sight of the core of their passion, the heart of it, because the industry is predatory in nature, right? However, that doesn't mean that you become a monster too. In order for us to survive as creatives, we have to stay pure in heart. So that means that for every opportunity that is presented to us, we don't have to say yes. All money ain't good money. I don't care who it is. I don't care how big the artist is. If it does not align with who you are and what you want from out of the business, then you have to say no. That's where people go wrong. People say yes to things that they know innately inside of their spirit they ain't got no business doing. And then wonder why they upside down. Or, you know what I mean, strung out on stuff. Because it's like you said yes to engaging with an artist or business that you had no business dealing with. So to answer the question, know who you are, what you want, and whatever comes your way, because when you're talented, it will come, opportunities will come. If it doesn't align with those 2 core answers, say no.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Because as a creative, we all have that block at times where it's like you're banging your head against a brick wall for ideas.
Yeah.
How do you overcome writer's block?
By just making shitty stuff over and over again. That's the honest truth. Like, I don't know how many songs I got where it's like, I ain't got nothing to say. Like, I literally have songs that are titled Nothing to Say. You know what I mean? Like, or Nothing to Do. Or I'm here because I gotta be here. I don't wanna be here. Whatever. Like, that's a part of the creativity of it. Cause sometimes you'll find fun in that. Where it's like, all right, I don't feel creative. You be like, I don't wanna do shit. I don't wanna do shit. Hey, what I'm finna do? Shit? Hey, I don't wanna do shit. You be like, okay, that sounds like something real quick. It may not go anywhere, but it may just be fun in the moment. And that every day, yes, it's a grind. Yes, it's like, oh my gosh, like, when is Little Uzi Vert gonna take my beat? When is such and such going to see that I'm the dopest, right? But it's the journey, it's the process of it, right? And so, like, writer's block doesn't exist until you say that it does. As soon as you say, I got writer's block, I can't think of nothing. Wait, you can't think of nothing, but you thought enough to say that you had writer's block. So people you can think enough to formulate a barricade in your mind. That's wild to me. Where it's like, it is, I will say this though, when it counts and the pressure is on you and you want to make an impression, right? Yes, that is tough when it's like, dang, I really don't feel inspired. But that's when you truly have to rely on your instinct. You know what I mean? And just be like, you got to tell an artist or whomever that you're trying to impress, be like, look, let's just have fun. No expectation. I know you want to hit. I want to hit. We don't know if we're going to make a hit today, but let's make the best that we can today. And we'll revisit. And maybe 90% of it is just complete shit. But maybe 10%, well, you be like, that synth that I use, I might use that on something for real. You may tap in or unlock something. You know how that goes, where it's like you make beats every day. Each and every one ain't hitting, but you may find like just working through where you like, okay, I know how to make hi-hat sequences better now. Ooh, I know how to get to this certain VST or plugin faster or to make my workflow more efficient. So every time that you continue to try and, you know what I mean, you just keep, hitting it, you're still acquiring tools and skill sets to make yourself better, faster, stronger, more efficient, more confident. And so that's the beauty of it. This life is not meant to be lived as a creative in struggle or in suffering. Our gift is meant to be shared in joy because you're grateful to do it. And every time you make a beat, I know for sure when you Logic or Pro Tools or whatever your DAW is, when you make a fire beat or something's coming together, that smile on your face, you be like, oh, yeah.
That's the only time I'm out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's making me crazy. That reaction is like no other. You can't contain yourself when you're in that element.
Yes, but that's the gift. Right? That's the gift to us in the sense of like, yes, God has given us the gift to put towards the world, but the feeling of finding something that feels good to us to be like, nah, I think I got something. I want to share this. They got to hear this. That is why we keep going back. That is why we keep doing what we're doing, because that's the love and the heart of it. When you first started, it's not who you were now. Right? And so we got to give ourselves credit as far as to be like, dang, we didn't come a long way. And even though I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where I used to be. And so let's just enjoy the journey for what it is. We're going to make the money that we're supposed to make or whatever the case may be. It's just depending on your decisions. You know what I'm saying? But enjoy it, bro. Like, forget the writer's block. Like, Man, I ain't gotta do shit. Hey.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you so much
Absolutely,
again.
thank you.
That was fire.